We do not know what we do not know. Most nail technician entrepreneurs think that the greatest obstacle to development is lack of time, money, or clients. In reality, however, there is a much more insidious factor, that we do not know what we do not know. This phenomenon is present in every profession, but it is especially strong in the beauty industry. When someone starts their business, they primarily rely on their professional knowledge. Technique, material knowledge, precision. These are tangible, learnable things. What is often missing, however, is business thinking, financial awareness, marketing, and a deeper understanding of human behavior. And this is where the problem begins. If you do not know that these areas are important, then you will not look for the solution either. The comfort of ignorance. The state of, I do not know that I do not know, is comfortable. It does not come with responsibility, does not require change, and does not force self-examination. An entrepreneur in this state tends to blame external factors. There are not enough clients in the area. People do not want to pay for quality. The competition is too big. These sentences often do not reflect reality, but interpretations that come from a lack of knowledge. The biggest limit is not what you do not know, but what you do not even know exists. Recognizing blind spots. Every entrepreneur has blind spots. These are areas where they do not see their own shortcomings. A nail technician can be an excellent professional, yet underprice her services, communicate poorly with clients, or handle her finances completely without a system, without knowing it. Development begins when the realization is born. There may be something I still do not see. This is one of the most important mental shifts in an entrepreneur's life. And this is where real development begins. When you start asking questions, asking for feedback, and remain open to the possibility that things can be done differently. A blind spot is not dangerous because it exists, but because you do not see it. The levels of conscious learning. Development happens on 4 levels. You do not know that you do not know. This is the most dangerous state. You know that you do not know. Here openness appears. You know and you do it consciously, learning and practice. You know and you do it automatically, master level. Most businesses get stuck between the first 2 levels. Successful ones, however, move forward consciously. Why is this especially important in the nail profession? Nail building is not only a profession, it is also a business. And business does not work with technical knowledge alone. Even if you make beautiful nails, if no one sees them. Lack of marketing, even if you have many clients, if you have no money left. Financial ignorance, even if you work a lot, if you cannot set boundaries. Mental shortcomings. These are all areas that many people do not even notice because they do not know they exist. How do you break out of this? The most important step is curiosity and humility. Ask yourself, what might I be doing wrong but I do not see? Look for feedback from clients, colleagues, mentors. Learn about areas that do not seem professional at first. Real development does not begin where you already know something, but where you recognize how much you still do not see. When the music plays in your head, but others only hear tapping. Imagine a simple situation. You play a well-known song in your head, then start tapping its rhythm on the table. For you, the melody is completely clear. You can almost hear the instruments, the rhythm, the singing voice. You are sure that whoever hears the tapping will recognize it. The reality, however, is that the other person only hears meaningless noise. This phenomenon is not only a game, but one of the most important and most dangerous distortions of communication in business life. When you know something, you can no longer not know it. Your knowledge becomes built into your thinking, and unnoticed it distorts the way you speak to others. A nail technician entrepreneur, for example, knows exactly what the difference is between a basic and a premium material, how much work is in a durable, precise set, why it costs what it costs, but the client sees none of this. She only sees the price, the time, and the final result. A complex melody is playing in the professional's head. The client only hears tapping from it, the real reason for being misunderstood. Many people at this point think, the client does not value quality. She is not willing to pay more. She does not understand what I do. In reality, it is not that the other person does not want to understand, but that she does not receive the same information. You hear the whole song, she only hears the rhythm. This phenomenon appears in almost every business situation. In pricing, you know why you ask for a certain amount. The client only sees a number. In marketing, you understand exactly what makes your work special. The client only sees pictures without context. In client communication, you think rules are obvious. Appointment cancellation, lateness, payment. For the client, these are often not stated. The biggest mistake, assuming understanding. One of the most common mistakes is that we believe what we know others understand too. This is especially dangerous because it is invisible. You do not receive immediate feedback that the other person is lost. It only appears later, in the form of bargaining, in uncertainty, in clients who do not return. The solution: teach, do not only communicate. Successful entrepreneurs do not assume understanding, they build it. They do not only tap, but help others hear the music. This means that you explain the value, not only state the price. You show the process, not only the final result. You give context behind every decision. Simple rule: if something is completely obvious to you, then it is very likely not obvious at all to your client. And this is not her fault. The success of your business does not depend on how good the song is in your head, but on how much of it your clients hear. Because if they only hear tapping, they cannot connect to it. But if they hear the music, then they will not look at the price, but at the experience they receive.